Week 9. What is up, football fans? If you are watching this pick'em video, I love you. I say this every time, but I just want you to know how much I appreciate you watching the picks videos because they barely get views. I get it. It's a Dolphins channel. I'm trying to expand, but I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. So we are going to go through the games. We are going to make our picks. And obviously, it is sponsored by Sleeper. And I am not only showing you how you get a $20 free entry and use promo code DDW, you get 100% up to $100, but I'm also showing you the app. So, as you can see here, you got that free $20 entry, but we're doing picks, but you can do the over-under. If you didn't watch yesterday's video where I previewed the game, I showed you about the over-unders. Come over here, click on this. You go over here, you click on this. You make your picks. Last week, I did horrible. 8-5. Yeah, I picked the Falcons. But I picked teams that you would think would win, right? Like I picked the Bengals. I picked the 49ers. You know, maybe I'll do better this week. Overall, I think my record is 77-44. First place in this little shebang that I put together is Fins Up. This gentleman, fantastic icon. He's got me beat by like 19 points. I'll catch up. So let's jump into this and let's make our picks. So we have tonight's game, which is the Baltimore Ravens heading to Miami to take on the Dolphins. The Ravens are giving 7.5. I am taking the Baltimore Ravens in this one. Again, if you watched yesterday's preview video, I need to see more out of Miami besides just one game where they played fantastic for me to feel good. Plus you have some injuries. Julian Hill's still banged up. Some of these other guys are banged up by Miami, and Baltimore seems to be fully healthy again with Lamar coming back. So, but Baltimore is giving 7.5, which means they are 10.5 favorites because the home team gives 3. So I would take the Dolphins when it comes to that 7.5. I think it's going to be a close game. I think both teams will be able to score. But even if it's scored, Ravens win by a touchdown. 7.5, but I am going to take the Baltimore Ravens. Then we have the Chicago Bears taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Chicago losing to Baltimore. Cincinnati losing to the New York Jets, the first team to lose to the Jets. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Chicago is giving 2.5 again, which makes them a 5.5 point favorite. I'm taking Chicago in this one. Cincinnati's defense is just not good, and I think Chicago's defense is good enough to help them win this game. Point blank and period. Then we have Minnesota heading to Detroit to take on the Lions. The Lions are giving 9.5. JJ McCarthy is starting for Minnesota, from what I remember, or from what I'm hearing. Detroit is Detroit. I'm going to take Detroit, especially because I took Minnesota against the Chargers. I thought, hey, this Minnesota defense should, help them out and, blah, blah, blah. I was wrong. I was dead wrong. Wrong. I'm not doing it again. I am taking Detroit, but that 9.5 makes it interesting. Might be closer than that, but I'm going to take Detroit. Then we have Green Bay taking on the Carolina Panthers in Green Bay. Now, I'm taking Green Bay. They're the better team. I love the way their defense is playing. They're really, put a beat down on the Steelers last week. Carolina, they had no shot against Buffalo. Buffalo, 40-9, I think the score was. Just but that 13.5 is interesting. I don't think it'll be that high. It opened at 11.5. So I might take Carolina with the spread, but obviously I'm taking Green Bay with that one. Then we have the Denver Broncos heading to Houston to take on the Texans. The Texans are giving 1.5. I'm taking Denver in this one. I don't know why Houston is the favorite. The Broncos opened as the 1.5 favorite, and then it swung back to Houston. I don't understand why. I think Denver has one of, if not the best defense in the NFL. Houston's offensive line is not good. I'm taking Denver in this one, even if it is a low scoring game. I still like Denver in this one. Find that to be very interesting that Houston is giving a 1.5. Then we have the Atlanta Falcons taking on the New England Patriots. Can't hate the Patriots, right? I'm not going to sit here and be like, whoa, they have an easy schedule, that's why they're winning. You play who's in front of you. You can't hate them for it. You know, I think there'll be a 12-5 team. I think they'll lose a few more games, but I still think, they got a very favorable schedule. And then we'll see who they really are when they get in the playoffs. Now, will they win the division? That's all up to Buffalo to see how they play the rest of their schedule. But you can't sit here and really hate New England for who's in front of them. I'm taking New England, and even with that 6.5, I thought Atlanta's defense was better than they were, but the Miami Dolphins slapped the crap out of them. So maybe they come back and play better against New England. New England had a little bit of trouble at the beginning against Cleveland, and then they came back and continued playing in their usual ways. But again, you can't hate New England. As much as I want to, being a Dolphin fan, can't hate them and say they haven't really played any real competition. They beat Buffalo, but, hey, you play who's in front of you. Then we have the 49ers taking on the Giants. This reminds me of that playoff game where the botched snap on the field goal, and then they tried to throw the ball, and then it obviously was pass interference that wasn't called. You remember that? I think that was like 2002. But I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers, who are giving 2.5. Cam Scatterbo done with his ankle. The Giants are kind of in turmoil right now. Dable's pissed, especially with all the penalties that happen against the Eagles. There's a lot going on, and I think San Fran is playing at a much better pace right now. So I'm going with San Fran, but it is a close game. It's only 2.5 is San Fran is giving. Then we have the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Indy's only giving 3.5. And again, I'm not going to sit here and be a hater for Indy and say, look at the teams they face, because they really haven't faced any competition. But again, they play who's in front of them. I'm actually going to take Indy in this one. We'll see how the Steelers bounce back after that loss to Green Bay. I expect them to be more competitive, but we'll see how it all pans out. They might give Indy a run for their money in this one, and it could go either way, but I'm going to take Indy in this one. Then we have the Chargers. Again, I'm not going to sit here and poo-poo on them, but it's like, who have they really beaten? You know what I'm saying? But you play who's in front of you, taking on the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, Chargers are going to win, and they should. They're given 9.5. They should win by more than 10 points. Tennessee is really at the very beginning of that rebuild, so we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, there's nothing more to talk about that one. Then we have the Jacksonville Jaguars heading over to the West Coast to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Jacksonville giving 3.5. I do like Jacksonville in this one. The Raiders, there was so much promise for the Raiders and Geno Smith at the beginning of the season when they were actually playing pretty decent. That fell down super duper quick. So Jacksonville is an easy pick there, but don't be surprised if it flips. Don't be surprised. Then we have the Saints taking on the Los Angeles Rams in Los Angeles. I'm taking the Rams. The Rams are giving 14.5. Now, I think Puka Nacua should be back in this one, which doesn't bode well for the Saints. So 14.5 is what the Rams are giving. I'm sticking with that 14.5. Then we have a big one. I honestly think this should be the Sunday night game, but it is not. It is the 4:25 game. The Kansas City Chiefs, who are coming off on a hot tear, even though some of their plays are very referee helped, taking on the Buffalo Bills, who are coming off of a dominant win, but also kind of a little rough, dealing with injuries and stuff. I am taking the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they are red hot right now. I think Buffalo's reeling a little bit. I'd like Buffalo to win. Patriot fans, no offense to you guys, you're feeling real high on your high horse. But I think Kansas City is going to take this one. And if not, they'll take it in the playoffs. Sorry, Buffalo. Then we have this. This is the Sunday night game, which again, I think the Buffalo Kansas City game should have been the Sunday night game. You have Seattle taking on Washington, a 5-2 team who's actually playing very well, taking on the Commanders, who are kind of up and down. I'm taking Seattle in this one. I really like the way that defense is playing, and how their offense is playing, and all these guys are really showing up for them on offense. So I'm liking Seattle in this one. And then finally, we have the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Dallas Cowboys. I'm taking Arizona. You literally could see who I'm clicking and taking. I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys, giving 2.5. Dallas got beat bad by Denver, but they still have talent. They still have a talented quarterback. Yes, their defense might struggle here and there, but I do think they are the better team than the Arizona Cardinals. So I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys. But that is my picks. Maybe I'll have a better week than I did last week. Entering tiebreaker. How many combined total points for the Arizona-Dallas game? How many combined points? Let's go with 45. See how fun this app is? Go check it out. Click the link in the description. Use the promo code DDW. You get 100% matched up to $100. And again, boom, you come over here, you get that free $20 entry. I will see you guys tonight, 8:15. The Miami Dolphins hosting the Baltimore Ravens. I will be live. Other than that, like usual, stay classy. And fins up.